Sean Diddy Combs is staying in federal prison for 3 more years on charges related to prostitution. That's after a judge sentenced him to just over 4 years, giving him credit for 14 months already served. Also imposed the maximum fine of $500,000.
Yeah, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Maxwell Lumumba, and today we are going to talk about one of the biggest stories in music and culture right now. That is Sean Diddy Combs has just been sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in federal prison after being found guilty of transporting for prostitution. This is huge. This shakes hip-hop. This shakes business. This shakes reputation. Over the time that I'm going to talk with us, we are going to unpack it all. What led here, what the courtroom looks like, what the defense and the prosecution said, how his legacy may shift, and what we think from where we sit. So before we get deep, let me ask you that. Do you think a 4-year sentence is fair for someone like Diddy, or should it have been more or less? Drop your thoughts in the comment down below, and actually I'll be reading, then we'll be getting to know. And also, if you are new here, hit the like button, subscribe, so that you don't miss future reaction. All right, let us get into everything, because I'm going to start with the basics, the charges, the sentence, and the immediate reaction. So here we are the facts. Straight up, prosecutors charged him with transporting women for prostitution under federal law. They pushed for 11 years in prison. That's massive. Diddy defense team fought hard. They argued for leniency, 14 months. Time served claimed on his contribution. Characters, like actually the characters. So, but the judgment didn't go that low. Instead, the final sentence, that is 4 years, 2 months, that is 50 months in federal prison. On top of that, actually, you will have 5 years of supervised release and a $500,000 fine. Also important, you will already been detained since September 2024, so that time counts towards the sentence. So my reaction when I saw those numbers, it was like shock, because 4 years is serious, but compared to 11 years, you can see there was a compromise. Does compromise equal to justice? That's the big question that I'll be asking, because it's the question that I'll be asking for you. If you were the judge, would the defense argue about his contribution matters to you, or would you focus purely on the law and evidence? Give me your take. And in that case, there was a courtroom drama, emotional we call them statements, because in the court, Diddy teams presented a tribute video, something like 12 minutes, showing his life, his family, his philanthropy, his side of the story. They tried to humanize him. They pointed him as a father, a community figure, someone who made mistake but had built legacy. Diddy himself submitted a letter to the judge. He admitted wrongs, asked for mercy, asked for forgiveness, watching that, you see a powerful man humbled, but it's also strategic. Courtroom pleas are often part of legal defense. So we saw some tension in the courtroom. The judge reportedly said that something along the line, yeah, of fame does not exempt you, yeah, it does not actually exempt you from accountability. That line resonates because for so long Diddy operated at a level where a lot of people believe that he was untouchable. Let me ask you that. Do you think emotional appeals like tribute videos or personal letters should sway legal decisions? All sound courts stay strictly to evidence and law. Let me just know your position. And when you are talking about the legacy at stake, that is music, the empire, public image, because let's just try to shift from the courtroom to bigger picture, the legacy. What Diddy builds empire? Bad Boy Records, the fashion line, endorsement, that is media and cultural influence. His figure who doesn't just release music, he shaped culture, business trend. Now actually this sentence could rewrite how is remembrance. Will people think of Diddy the mogul or Diddy the felon? The achievements are still there, but this narrative is powerful and lasting. A scandal actually stick. In hip hop, we talk about separating art from artist, but Diddy wasn't just music, it was the brand, and the brands are fragile. When the public perception actually shifts, rebuilding it is harder than making, and that's the reality. So, and even music, think business partner, sponsor, deal, many of these will vanish. People don't want association with controversy and jail time. The financial damage could outlast his prison terms, and that's the reality. And so because of that, what next? Appeal, prison time, and comeback hopes? Because after serving time, what comes next? He or his team will likely file appeal. They will argue about errors, overreach, misapplication of law, but appeal are tricky. They rarely overturn big sentences fully. During prison, he will move on. New stars, new sounds, new business model. Diddy will return to a landscape that changed. He will need to adapt, and he might face backlash. But I also believe in resilience. If anyone has the resource, the influence, the network, he got a shot. But it won't be that easy, because we have walked through the charges, the levels argument, the legacy, the family, the future. This case is more than one man. It is a reflection of the power, accountability, and the consequences. Because for me, this is a reminder: no matter how high you climb, your actions follow. You can have fame, you can have money, you can have influence, but they don't protect you from the law. So the way I said that I'm called Maxwell Lumumba, just a village boy, a content creation from Africa, in Kenya, Isibania village, coming live from the village. So for those who have not subscribed to this amazing YouTube channel, you can subscribe, like, turn on the notification bell so that you can be updated with everything that I post, because I usually post videos about charity, I post video about cooking in Africa, village logs where you'll be getting me, passing through the villages, showing you how the village is, how Africa makes their ends meet. So I'm going to dive fully about P. Diddy, where I'm going to talk about the history from the beginning until the end, about the accusation and everything that P. Diddy has done. So stay tuned, because I was just giving us a breakdown of everything. So now I'm going to tell us the real story about the P. Diddy from the beginning until the last. So stay tuned, let us watch till the end, and let us engage. Stay tuned, guys. Let's keep moving. So, ladies and gentlemen, what just happened, this is one of those moments where you stop, you rewind, and you ask yourself that, did I really just see that? Because P. Diddy scene comes one of the biggest names in music history. A man who turned hip-hop into an empire, who shaped the sound of an empire generation. A man who made us dance, who made us believe in the bad boy dream. And yet, here we are, because the FBI raids, federal investigation, allegation that sounds like something straight out of the movie. But this is no movie. This is a real life. Sorry. And the story is actually unraveling right in front of our eyes. So tonight, I want us to go deep. I'm just giving you news headline. I'm reacting, I'm processing, I'm asking the same question you people are asking, because this right here is bigger than gossip. It's about power, legacy, and how quickly the empire can crumble. So, I'm going to start by actually the raid, because I'm going to actually talk about the federal agent just didn't show up quietly. No, this was loud, this was bold. Helicopters, armored vehicles, officer in we call it tactical gears storming Diddy's mansion. We are talking about Los Angeles, we are talking about Miami. So now the pictures, these get kicked open because security teams frozen, cameras rolling. This world watch as the king of bad boys records has his castle invaded by the FBI. And let's be real, this isn't something that happened to a celebrity every day. This is just attack. This is not just a tax issue. This is not just a routine check. Let us sink in, because they don't pull helicopters out of hunger for nothing. About the reality, when I saw that footage, my jaws really dropped. I said that, wait, Diddy, no. This has to be exaggerated, because let us be honest. Diddy was untouchable, or at least we thought that he was. But the more details came out that this carrier is locked. Reports of trafficking, abuse, secret rooms, NDS, people coming forward with stories that they were too scared to tell for years. And here the crazy part, some of these the whispers, have been around forever. We just didn't want to believe them, because he was Diddy, because he was the one throwing the parties, signing the artist, standing next to the presidents. So, and now the same man is being paraded on the news as a suspect in one of the darkest scandal hip-hop has ever seen. So what they found, because I'm going to break it down. The reports say that the FBI collected electronics, hard drives, surveillance footage. They are looking for evidence of trafficking, evidence of misconduct that allegedly took place behind those mansion walls. Now ask yourself this: if the federal went that deep, what do they already know? Who talked? Who gave them green light? Because raids like these don't happen overnight. They happen over months, sometimes years, or building a case. And the scariest part is when the people around him, the bodyguards, assistants, former friends, they are talking, and when insiders start talking, the empire actually started cracking. And what about the audience connection? Because family, I'm not just reacting as a fan of hip-hop. I'm reacting as someone who remembers how much Diddy meant to the culture. The shiny suits, they can't stop, won't stop, the legacy of Biggie. And now, all of that being related right before our eyes. Do you feel it too? Because that pit in your stomach, that mix of shock, anger, the sadness, because that was what I am feeling. And trust me, this is not just the beginning. And that's the reality. This is not just the beginning. Yeah? Because we are going to talk about a lot of things. Because family, because I'm now going to talk about the scandal. Yeah, because I'm going to rewind back, because to understand why these fall feel so heavy, we must understand the heights Diddy reached. And I'll be real with you, his story didn't just start in mansions or a private jet. It started in we call it Harlem. It started with hustle, and that hustle, it took him straight to the top. Sean Combs was born in Harlem, that is in New York. And Harlem at that time, it was energy, it was culture, it was survival. He grew watching how the street worked, watching how people moved. He wasn't the biggest guy, he wasn't actually the toughest, but he had something. He had an ambition, a fire that said, I'm going to make it. And trust me, when you grow up with nothing, you either give in or you grind until the world knows your name. And Diddy, he chose to grind. So we are going to talk about the early hustle, Uptown Records, because now picture this. Young Sean Combs, still in college, sneaking into clubs, trying to network, trying to shake hands with the right people. He wasn't just waiting for opportunity, he was creating it. He lands an internship at Uptown Records under Andre Harrell. And let me tell you that that was his big break, because Uptown was hot. Uptown was the place that was shaping R&Bs and hip-hop in the early 90s. And Diddy, he was running around, making things happen, organizing parties, scouting talents, thinking 5 steps ahead. And here's the big thing, because people didn't just see him as an intern, they saw him as an unstoppable. So the birth of Bad Boys record. But then it happens. He gets actually fired from Uptown. Can you imagine that? Fired. Most people would have quit right there, but not Diddy. Instead, he flips it. He says that, you know what, I will build my own. And in 1993, Bad Boy record was born. Now think about that name, Bad Boy. It wasn't just record label. It was a movement. It was a swagger. It was attitude. Actually, and it hit the streets like a bomb. Yeah? And remember the Biggie Smalls and the Empire. And then came BG, Christopher Wallace, the notorious B.I.G. Diddy and Biggie together. That was actually magic. That was destiny. Biggie had the raw lyrics, the street stories. Diddy had the vision, the production, the style. Together, they changed hip hop forever. Juicy, actually the big popper. More money, more problem. This song wasn't just hits, they were culture. They were anthems. They were the sounds track to the 1990s. And let's be honest, without Biggie, Diddy wouldn't been big. But with Biggie, he became untouchable. So let me just tell us about the lifestyle, power, parties, and fame. Now that we are here where the empire starts shining. The shining suits, the yacht, the all-white parties in the Hampton. Diddy no longer just a music exit. It was the lifestyle. It was actually the champagne bottle popping, celebrities everywhere, cameras flashing, and the man knew how to sell a dream. If you are around him, you will feel like you are part of history. He had that aura, that energy that pulled people in. And as Bad Boy kept winning with Massey, Fate, Evans, 112, Toto, the empire grew bigger and bigger. And I will be real with you, family, this is the Diddy I grew up watching. The one who said, can't stop, won't stop. That one who made us feel like success was possible. I mean, look at it. A kid from Harlem builds an empire worth hundreds of millions. That story have people's hope. That story made you think, if he can do it, maybe I can do it. So when I sit here today talking about his downfall, I can't lie, it really hurts, because the rise was legendary, the music was legendary, the hustle was legendary, and now all is being actually rewritten, and that's the reality. So here is what I have for that session, and I'm going to talk about the dark side, allegations, the lawsuits, because family, we have celebrated the rise, we have remembered the glory days, but now we have to turn the page, and trust me, these pages is dark, because behind the shiny suits, the music video, the champagne lifestyle, here we always whisper of control, whisper of abuse, whisper of things that didn't fit the image of a glamorous king of hip hop. And for the years, people dismissed it. We said, no, not Diddy, he's too smart, too powerful, too loved. But the truth, this whisper never went away, and eventually the whispers exploded. And I'm going to start with the early whispers. Let's be real, because for as long as Diddy has been in the game, rumors have followed him. In 1999 nightclub, shooting with Shaney, the drama with Jennifer Lopez when a gun was fired, his reputation for being ruthless in the business. Beyond the headlines, there were always stories about the parties, the private gathering, the way people said that you can't just walk away with the Diddy. Some former employees hinted that some artists spoke careful, but nobody really pushed it. Why? Because Diddy has power, and the power protects. Let me talk about the Casey's lawsuit, the turning point, and the case, and then came Casey. Now here's right here. This was the moment the whisper turned into a roll. Casey Ventura, artist, a singer, someone we all saw standing by Diddy's side for years, filed a lawsuit, and the details, they were chilling. She accused him of abuse, of control, of manipulation, of trafficking, of making her life in fear. Family, when I read those court documents, I couldn't believe my eyes, because this wasn't rumors anymore. This wasn't gossips. This wasn't someone who lived with him coming forward with a receipt. And the craziest part is just 1 day after she filed it, was settled quietly and quickly. Now tell me that why would a billionaire rush to settle in less than 24 hours? Think about that. When that news dropped, I felt sick, because I kept thinking that, what if it is true? What if everything we celebrated was built on pain we never saw? What hurt every more? People were not surprised. That's saddest part. Nobody was shocked. People say that we have been hearing this for years. Nobody was shocked. And that right there, it shows that how power works. Sometimes the truth is right in front of us, but we don't want to see it. Yeah. And more accusation actually piled up, and it didn't stop with the Casey. Other women stepped forward. Other lawsuits appeared. Allegations of parties gone wrong, of intimidation, of the NDS being signed under pressure. Now one case you can call coincidence. 2 cases you can call misunderstanding. But when the accusation keep on piling up from different voices, different times, different places, at that point you have to ask yourself, is there a pattern? Actually, and the empire started cracking. And here's where Diddy world stuff actually starts falling apart. Brands that once celebrated him, distancing themselves because business deals slowed down. Celebrities who used to smile in the pictures with him suddenly quiet. And then the FBI steps in. Family, let me remind you that the feds don't move on rumors. They move on evidence. And to them, to raid his mansion, that means that those allegations, they are not just words anymore. They are building a case. And what does this tell us about the audience connection? I know some of you watching feel torn, because we love the music, we love the moment. Diddy wasn't just a businessman. Yeah, he was part of the memories. But at the same time, we have to face the truth. If these allegations are real, then the man we celebrated was hiding something dark all along. And I don't know you. Yeah, I really don't know you. And I don't know about you, but for me, that's heartbreaking. So now we have faced the dark side. We have seen the lawsuits, the accusation, the empire starting to shake. But here's the next question. What about the people around him, his friends, his industry, his peers, the artists he has helped pull on? And I'm going to talk about that in the next section that I'm going to talk. Because now that the raid have happened, now that the lawsuits are stacking up, and big questions is how did the world react? Because remember, this is Diddy. We are talking about not some random celebrities. This is a man who had everybody at the parties. Presidents, billionaires, rappers, actors, and athletes. So, when the empire start to crumble, when the FBI rolled up in those black trucks, when the headlines screamed that Diddy accused, the silence was deafening. And the shock online, because let's start with the internet, because social media went wild. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you looked, people were shocked, angry, or saying finally the truth is coming out. Yeah, memes flooded timelines, clips from old intervals, actually the interviews resurfaced. People started digging into his past, connecting dots we have never paid attention to. And you know what I noticed, that the world wasn't just watching, it was investigating. The internet became the courtroom. People became the prosecutors, yeah, and celebrities who spoke out, because after celebrities broke the silence, some in subtitle ways, say some directly, some artists hinted at knowing more than they ever said. Others spoke in riddles, yeah, like they would seen things at those infamous parties but never dared to reveal. And then there were those who showed support for the victim, posting about believing survivors without mentioning Diddy's name, but you couldn't feel it. That indirectly shared that hesitation, that is fear. Yeah, the ones who stayed, let's say, silent, because and then because actually the friends who built their career on his stage, the rappers he put on, the celebrities who never missed a bad boy party, where are they now? We are the people who used to call him family. That silence speaks volume, because when the cameras were flashing, when the champagne was flowing, everybody wanted to stand next to Diddy. But when the feds showed up, suddenly nobody had anything to say. And it is very disappointing. And I'll be honest with you, family. It is disappointing because if these allegations are true, then people around him saw the signs of maybe not all of it, but something. Yet nobody spoke, nobody warned us, nobody protected the victim. And now, when it is too late, when the empire is falling, people are now quietly sliding out of the back of the door like they never knew him. It makes me wonder, because was it fear? Was it money? Or was it simply that Diddy was too powerful for everyone to dare speak against? Because hip-hop community response, because the culture, the industry, hip-hop is built on loyalty, on respect, on calling out wrong when you see it. But with Diddy, the response has been divided. Some people are saying that let's wait for the evidence, don't rush to judgment. Others saying that we have been hearing about these for years, it is time he faced the music. And in between those two voices, you have silence and silence. Family is powerful because silence can mean denial, but silence can also mean guilty. So when we're talking about the betrayal of the fans, because but let's not forget the most important voices, the fans, us, yeah, the people who brought the album, who wore the shirt, who danced to the hits. For fans, this feels like betrayal because we didn't just consume the music. We trusted the man, we trusted the brand, we trusted the dreams of Bad Boy, and now every lyric, every party, every smile in front of the camera, it all feels differently. It feels actually tainted. Yeah. Family, I need to ask you that, how do you feel about the silence? Do you think that people are quiet because they are scared, or do you think that actually they were part of the game all along? You can be talking about that, then we'll be talking about that, because it just looks like things are not adding up. So what does this mean to the industry? Because the legacy versus the downfall. Yeah, because yes, this is about Diddy. Yes, it is about raids, lawsuits, scandals, but that is bigger than that. This moment forces us to ask, what does it mean for the entire music industry, for hip-hop, for fame itself? Because when the giant falls, the ground shakes, and right now the ground under hip-hop is shaking hard. Yeah, let us now talk about the legacy versus the downfall. Diddy legacy was supposed to be untouchable. He gave us BG, he gave us Mary J, yeah, he gave us Faith Evans, Marcy, and 112. He gave us those unforgettable moments, all about the Benjamins. I will be missing you. He turned hip hop into champagne dreams. But here's the brutal truth. When the accusation, this dark, comes out, legacy gets related. History doesn't remember the parties. History doesn't remember the shiny suits. History remembers the scandal. Think about it. Because when we hear about R. Kelly, do we first think about his hits or the crimes? Yeah. When we hear about Bill Cosby, do we first think about the comedy or the accusation? Now ask yourself, what will people think about when they hear about the name Diddy in 10 years, in 20 years? Will it be music or the downfall? Yeah. And that, family, is heartbreaking, because as much as we love the music, we can't separate the man from accusation. We can't celebrate the hits when ignoring the hearts. It's like watching your hero turn into villain, and that's the pain you can't even describe. And I'm going to tell you about this impact on the industry. But let's go deeper, because what does this mean for the hip hop itself? For years, the music industry has had a dark side: power, exploitation, silence, the stories of artists being controlled, manipulated, yeah, abused, and it has been there. Diddy's case just ripped the curtains wide open. Behold, this tells us something crucial, that the industry needs a reset, because of one of the most powerful men in music can allegedly abuse his power for decades without consequences. then how many others are still hiding in the plain sight? So the power of the celebrity, because I have to take about that, because fame is supposed to inspire, but fame can also blind. Diddy has so much influence that people ignore the whisper. They danced at the parties, they laughed at the stories, they struggled of the rumors, but it was Diddy. That's the danger of celebrity culture. When someone gets too big, too rich, too untouchable, people stop holding them accountable. And if we are honest family, we the family play a role too. We put him on the pedestal because we crowned him the king, and now we are watching that crown melting. I'm going to compare, doing some comparison and other downfall, because let me look at the comparison, because like R. Kelly, once a legend, now a symbol of disgrace. Jeffrey Epstein, rich, powerful, untouchable until the truth came out. Harvey Weinstein, Hollywood giant, now remembered only for abuse. And now P. Diddy, different industry, same story, power abused, silence maintained, legacy destroyed. The question is, why does it keep happening, and when will it finally when will we learn? Family, I want you to think about this. How many times do we cheer for someone so loudly that we can't hear the cries of people suffering behind them? That's the question I'm asking myself, and that's the question I want you to ask yourself too. So what happens next? The music industry has two choices. Pretend this is just one man's fall, sweep it under the rug and keep business as usual, or use this moment as a wake-up call to clean house, to give victims a voice, to put humanity above hits. But let us be real. Change only happens when money is on the line. And Diddy downfall just showed the world that every billionaire can't hide forever. Family, we are almost at the end of this journey of the reaction about P. Diddy. That is what I can be telling, because celebrity silence, industry shock, and my final reaction. Let me just start by the celebrity silence. One of the most shocking part of this entire case is the silence. The silence of people who were once in his cycle. The silence of big names in the hip hop. People who owe a lot of their career for Diddy. Let us talk about Mary J, Bridgie. We have Usher, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Drake, Rihanna, most either quiet or speaking indirectly. Talk about 50 Cent trolling online. He made jokes but also hinted he's not surprised. When your peer knows something but they are never spoke, what does that say? Let us talk about the victim story. Revisit Cassie lawsuit. How she accused him of being abuse, control, and sex trafficking. Talk other women stepping forward saying that the pattern was there for years. Now, whether or not these allegations prove to be true, the consistency in this story is chilling. And actually, read each allegation, because pose with a reaction, because we have to take it, because these are disappointed questions. Because let us talk about the empire crowding So when we talk about the empire crumbling, Diddy business deals, St. John bankrupt, Revolt TV that he stepped down, Cyrock, yeah, Dillion deal now shaky. His influence in the music industry could this case erase his legacy? He built an empire from Harlem to Hollywood, but now it feels like the empire is burning. Yeah, let us talk about the hip hop industry revoking. Yeah, compared to R. Kelly, Billy Cosby cases, once untouchable, now symbols of downfall. Ask, is hip hop facing its own #MeToo moments? Could these open the doors for more secrets to come out? Explore the idea of power abuse on the industry, because as someone who grew up respecting his grind, this hurts, but the truth must come out. Because let me tell you why this story hits me so hard. Because for years I looked at Diddy as the ultimate symbol for success. I'm one person who likes hip-hop, the flashy suits, the big parties, the hint of the radio. But now we see all the same images. I can't help but wonder what was happening behind the scene. Yeah, because do we as fans sometimes ignore the red flags because we love the music too much? I really don't know. So I'm going to tell us my final thing, the call of action, because the PDD we knew, the mogul, the icon, the bad boy for life, may never exist actually again. What we are left with are questions, pain, and a wake call for the industry. To my viewers, what do you think? That is this the end of Diddy's legacy, or can be ever bounce back from these? Let me know in the comment, and if you stay till the end of this video, you are the real one. Thank you. Keep on supporting this YouTube channel. For those who want to join the membership, please do. For those who want to super slap this YouTube channel, please do. For those who want some other things, yeah, I'm coming live from Kenya. If you want to tour Kenya, welcome to Kenya. A good place to live, to enjoy. Yeah, Kenya to the world. So that's what I can say. Let us watch the consecutive videos. Let us watch the previous videos so that we get to support this YouTube channel. And also I have a playlist. Play the video, don't skip the ads. That is what I can tell you. Goodbye for now. Goodbye guys. Goodbye.